We are now live. That's what the phone just told me. Shout out to hope everybody had a great Christmas. Or you're having a great, what we got? Kwanzaa, we got Hanukkah. What's the other ones? I don't even know what the other ones are. So shout out to everybody who's having a happy holiday season. Shout out to everybody who's on vacation from work, vacation from school. As you come into the live stream, tell me your location, name and location as you are checking in right now. This is Dre all day. Somebody said, do I remember you? No, I don't remember you. So tell me your name and your location, and I might remember it for the next time. As you come in, tell me your name and location. This is Dre Baldwin, checking in live from Work on Your Game University headquarters, which is wherever I'm at. I'm in Miami, Florida right now. Somebody said, did I consider majoring in communications? Did I consider it? No, I did not. I still majored in communications. I major in communications right now. I ain't even in school. I'm the teacher now. I'm the professor. Elijah checking in from London, England. Shout out to England. Somebody said I was ST your podcast. I don't even know what that means. Neil checking in from Chi-Town. Shout out to Chicago. We got Shabaksary, Russia. Shout out to Russia. I never heard of that town. Shabaksary. You ever heard? Shabaksary. All right. My girl knows how to pronounce Shabaksary. All right, Russia. We got Arad checking in from Sweden and Spain at the same time. Man, you must have some long legs. You know, both. Ismail from Switzerland. We got Tulsa, Oklahoma. You were at my podcast. I never did my podcast live, so I don't know what you're talking about. I think you got me mixed up with somebody else. But anyway, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day. Those who don't know me, I'm an author of 25 books. I'm also a former 9-year professional basketball player. I'm a coach, consultant, speaker, a trainer. I got an audio experience that some of y'all call a podcast. I call it a master class. He said, yes, you know how that. So Anna, you did a good job pronouncing that. Shabaksary. All right. Shabaksary. Shabaksary. All right. She knows Russian, so. All right. And what else am I? I've lost my train of thought pronouncing these Russian names. I am. I do a whole lot of other things. Let's just keep it at that. I got like 7,000 videos on YouTube, all the books I told you. I do a lot of things. What we're going to talk about right now, y'all, let's talk about as you move up in levels. Because I know it's a song, the rap music, I know how to pronounce that. There's a song where they say, there's levels to this shit. You heard of that before, right? I think that's a Meek Mill song, there's levels to this shit. And one thing that I said this on Twitter, matter of fact, today. And I'm going to go through all the questions at the end, and I will answer questions. So if you post a question, I'm going to scroll through at the end, or you can hold your question to the end and I'll get to it. And this ain't going to be long. But I posted this on Twitter today. My Twitter is @DreAllDay. That said, in high school, talking about sports, that's the last area of life where talent alone is going to get you an opportunity. Every point after that, you got to have something more than talent to get yourself a chance, to get yourself a shot. And it applies in sports. It applies in relationships. It applies in business. It applies in anything that you do in life. There's a certain level you could get to that if you're talented enough, or you're good enough, or you're just, you have this raw intelligence, or you just have a raw ability or a skill, or you're natural or something. There's a certain level you can get to just off that. But then it comes to a point that if you want to go any further than that, you got to start to learn some other things. You got to develop some other skills, and you got to develop those skills on purpose. It's not something that you could just get. It's not something that's just going to come to you just because. There's some work that you're going to have to put into to get to that level. So, for example, I talk about this in sports. If you're an athlete playing, let's keep it at basketball, because that's the sport that I played. If you're really talented at basketball, in middle school, high school, AAU, you can pretty much play for any team. You can get the ball as much as you want. You can pretty much do whatever you want if you're talented enough compared to your teammates, and the team that you're on values you enough, and the coaches know they want you to be cool with them. Everybody wants to be your friend. You can pretty much do whatever you want. But when you get to college, everybody's talented. You're going to want to play in the NBA or overseas or in the G League. Everybody has talent. And at that point, now what do you got to do? Now you got to learn how to play within a team concept. You got to learn how to play if you're not getting the ball all the time. You got to learn how to play if you're not even getting in the game. You got to learn how to listen to a coach who doesn't need to be your friend and doesn't give a damn if you don't like what he says to you, because your AAU coach wants to be your homie because he thinks you're the one who might go to the league, so he's going to do whatever you say. But your college coach, college coach is like, yo, I didn't coach 50 dudes who went to the league. Now, who are you? He doesn't need you. So now you got to learn how to fit into that structure, and if you don't have the discipline to do that, you might not be able to go to the next level. And it's not because you lack ability, it's because You didn't have the discipline. You didn't have any other skill set. Let's talk about something else. In business, for example, if you're a natural at, let's say, creating products, or you can create content, or you're a natural salesperson, you just have some natural ability. You never really studied it. You never really worked that hard at it, but you just have some skill. You can get to a certain level of business, make yourself a certain amount of money, get yourself a certain amount of notability and notoriety just off that. But at some point, if you don't learn the other elements that you're missing, you don't learn copy, you don't learn how to deal with people, you don't learn how to build relationships, you don't learn how to build a team, you don't learn how to delegate, if you don't know how to sell, if you don't learn sales, if you don't know marketing, you don't learn marketing, if you don't know content, you don't learn content, if you don't put any time into strategically learning these skills, even though you have all this talent in this one area, you're going to hit a glass ceiling, as they say, where you can see the next level, but you can't get there because you haven't developed the skills. You haven't put the time into developing the skills. You can even talk about relationships. When you are younger, and I know we got people of all different ages here, when you're younger and I'll speak from the male perspective, you can look around and see females who are physically attractive. You like, damn, you looking at her, you see her, and you want to mess with this girl because of their physical attraction, right? And you're into them because of that. But you also realize at the same time, as you start to get older, all right, yeah, that girl's physically attractive, but if I can't have a conversation with her, if I don't really feel like she has any substance, if I don't feel like there's anything behind the exterior of the physical, then I can't really build a relationship with this chick, because what are we going to talk about? When we not in bed doing that, what else can we do? Nothing, because they don't bring anything to the table besides just that. Eventually, you're going to move on and be like, all right, I gotta do something else. I got to find somebody else. And you also, at the same time, you can't be that person, male or female. You can't just go off maybe because you got looks, or maybe because you're a famous rapper or you're a known athlete. That's cool. That'll get you attention from a lot of people. But do you have anything besides that makes you a valuable person, that makes you a person of worth? Just today on YouTube, I put out the video of me and Anna. We did a conversation about how to be a person of substance in life. And that whole conversation was about how do you go beneath the exterior of looking good, of being known, of having talent or having a certain skill that makes people know you, but what else do you bring to the table besides that? Now, yes, you probably want a girl or a guy who looks good or is smart or whatever, but they got to have something else beneath that. The same way, if you're a great salesperson, you still got to know how to talk to people. You still got to know how to deal with people. You still got to know how to do customer service. Even though you can sell, can you do everything else that it takes to be successful in business? You're a basketball player. Maybe you can jump high, but can you dribble? Can you shoot? Can you pass? Can you play defense? Can you play a bench role when you've been a starter your whole life? Do you have those other skills that go with the natural abilities that you have? And the thing is, every one of us has some natural abilities at something. But what happens with many people is we just end up riding off that natural ability, and we never work on developing the stuff that doesn't come naturally to us. Why is that? Because first of all, it takes effort. And a lot of people don't want to work, not on things that they're not good at. Usually we like to work at stuff we're good at, right? You see people, basketball players in the gym, like, yeah, I got it in today. Give you a picture of their sneakers with the shirt, with the sweat all on it. It's fun to work on something that you're good at because you know you're good at it. It feels good. But what about working on the things you're not good at? Remember, I was training this player once. He was a really good outside shooter, white kid, outside shooter. He wasn't very athletic. He had a really skinny body. He couldn't play defense to save his life. He couldn't drive to the basket because he was too thin. And I was training him, and he was like, yeah, I want to work on these shots. So we're working on his outside shots, and he's shooting all these shots. He's making shots. And I'm like, yo, when we going to work on the rest of your game? And he kind of bristled at that. He didn't like the fact that I said that. Because I'm like, yo, I know you can do this, but what else can you do? Can you do anything else? And he didn't really like that. But that's what you got to be able to do in life. If you want to be a person of value to other people, you got to let them know, like, yo, you cool at that, but when you going to do anything other than that? When I was playing ball, when I first was playing, when I was a teenager, like 14, 15, and I played ball at the pickup games in the summertime in the playground, the older guys, with them, I would just stand in the corner, and I would just make these threes out of the corner. That was my thing, the corner three, before we was talking about the corner three. And one day, one of the old heads was like, yo, I know you can make that shot, but what else? Can you do anything else? What else can you do? Can you put the ball on the floor? Can you shoot from over there? Can you play D? Can you grab some rebounds? Can you take the ball to the hole? Because I was starting to get a little bit taller. Go take the ball to the hole, drive. Be physical. Do something other than just this thing that you're already good at. So a lot of people don't want to add other skills to their skill set in life because it takes effort and they're not good at it. So it's not going to be easy immediately, and it's going to take time. So the two things that people don't want to put in life to get better is time and effort. So anything that you do, if you want to jump ahead of the crowd, You want to separate yourself from other people. Find something that requires time and effort, and there's a valuable payoff at the end. And you're putting yourself ahead of 95% of people, because most people don't want to put that effort in to get better at anything. They want to stay with the thing that they're good at, and they hope that'll take them as far as it goes, but it doesn't. They're going to hit a certain point. They can't get to the next level because there's levels to this shit. And if you don't do the work, you're not going to be able to get to that level. Even though you can see it, you just can't get there. And that's when you get frustration. That's when you get people like wondering, why is it not happening for me? Because you didn't do the work. Because you're going off your natural talent, but you got to add skill. And that takes work. It takes effort. It takes time. And it takes discipline. Most people don't have that, and that's why they're not able to do it. So now let me take a couple questions. This is Dre All Day, aka Dre Baldwin. This is my book, The Mirror of Motivation. If you are watching this right now and you do not own this book, then I don't understand why, because I already paid for the book. All right, this book you do not have to pay for. I've already paid for. All you got to do is take care of the shipping. Tell me where to ship the book, and I will ship this book anywhere you live in the world. As long as you have an address, somebody asks you what's your physical address, not your email address, but your real address. As long as you have one, go to mirrorofmotivation.com, and I will ship you this book. All you got to do is tell me where to ship. So now I'm about to scroll up to the top, and I'm going to go through these questions, see what questions we got. Hopefully we got some good ones. That's the link that I just posted right there, is mirrorofmotivation.com. How do I get this text shit off the screen? All right, so I'm taking a couple questions right now. If you got questions, go ahead and post them. Keep them short, get to the point, leave out the stories, just get straight to the question, I'll answer it. Did I consider somebody asked me about majoring in communication? I don't know why they asked that question, but no, I did not. Trade time, what's going on? Shabaksadi, Russia. Shout out to Shabaksadi, Russia. Is that right? Did I say it right? All right. Sweden, Spain, Switzerland, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We are worldwide out here. So shout out to everybody worldwide who knows about work on your game. Question from Cash Chris: was it tough getting equipment for your podcast? I'm considering starting one on my campus. I'm a communications major. Getting equipment is the easiest part of a podcast. Listen, Chris, I assume that you're on your phone right now, right? You got a smartphone? All right, you can start a podcast with that. What's the app where you can do the podcast on your phone? Anchor? You can just talk into the phone. Get yourself a little microphone. Use the phone, the mic that comes with the phone. Plug that into your phone and talk right into that. Go in a quiet room, go in a closet, and just talk right into that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to sound like it came out of, like Dr. Dre produced your podcast. It doesn't have to be, perfect. Just, it has to be quality. It has to be quality material. If the material is good, people don't worry about all the other shit. Listen, when I started putting basketball videos on YouTube, it was on a cheap ass $100 camera. I was editing videos on Windows Movie Maker. I don't know shit about editing videos and still don't. And a lot of people still to this day know my name because of that. It wasn't because I had great equipment. It was because I had great content. When your work is good, people will figure out the rest. Damon Dash says that all the time. When your work is good, all the rest of it gets figured out. Understand that. Free Soul said it's crazy. I was just saying how my natural talent ain't take me to college. Dre some kind of mind reader. Absolutely I am. That's why I wrote this book, The Mirror of Motivation. So then you can look in the mirror. You can figure out where you got to go next for yourself. Talent alone will get everybody to a certain level. Some people further than others, but there's levels to this shit. You want to get to your highest level, you got to eventually do the work. Austin Pierce, MMA, what up? Constantly raise your standards in life. Yes, that's a simple enough idea. People got to do that. Then Yasinette was good. Austin said, life is like MMA. You got to maximize every aspect of your life, physical, mental, spiritual, financially. Absolutely. ATN 84 facts. Yes. Tips for starting a podcast. Like I just told you, you got to come up with some content. That's the most important thing is content. That's the only tip. That's the only thing you need is content. If you got quality material to share with the world, people are going to fuck with it. If your material is whack, I don't care if you're in the most expensive studio ever created, nobody's listening to that shit. You got to have quality material. It is not about the mic. It's not about your cameraman or what editing software you're using or any of that other bullshit that people try to make you think that's what you need to create content. To create content, you need good ideas, and you got to have something to say that people want to hear. I just recorded an episode of the Work on Your Game show, Audio Experiences. My show is not a podcast. And actually, I'm going to tell you about that in a second. But it's called How to Have Something to Say, a.k.a. How Not to Be Garbage. So if you don't want to be garbage, you need to listen to the Work on Your Game show, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, all the usual suspects. But to that point, what was I just talking about? Oh, yeah. don't call your show a podcast. If you're going to have something of really high quality, listen, I don't call my show a podcast anymore. I still got technically a podcast, but it's not a podcast. A podcast is like, two motherfuckers sit in a room and talk shit for an hour, then they put it on YouTube like, hey, I got a podcast. Fuck that. My shit is high quality shit. I got over damn near 2,000 hours of material. It's not a podcast. My shit is a daily masterclass. That's what mine is. I can't speak for nobody else. Mine is a daily masterclass. It's on the podcast app, but it's not a podcast. I can't devalue my shit by calling it a podcast. Molly said I got the Dwayne Wade, Gilbert Arenas Hoop Handbooks. Hopefully they get me better. Ain't no hope. I mean, if you do the program, there's no hope. It's guaranteed. What does it take to become a professional basketball player? Number one, it takes talent. Now, if you ain't got talent, you ain't going nowhere. So the first thing you need is talent. Second thing you'll need, you're going to need a little bit of luck. You need to be in the right places at the right time. But the more often you're outside metaphorically speaking, more chances you give yourself to make it. And I wrote a book called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. So little yo-yo, 11:30, you want to play overseas, go to balloverseas.com. balloverseas.com. And I got a book right there. You can get it for free. Same way you can get this for free, you get that book for free. It's called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. It is the only reference guide to actually playing basketball overseas that exists. Okay? The only one. So that's how you can play ball overseas. Did I ever check out Hidden Colors? Not yet. What's my favorite food? What is my favorite food? What do you think? Bananas? Bananas, yeah. Bananas is my favorite food. Merry Christmas, ARB14. Thank you. Let me see. How do I put on Apple Podcast? Hey, Cash Chris, man, you got Google, don't you? All right, you go on Google, man. You in college. You can't be asking me that question. Come on. How much you paying for your education? You be asking me how do you put some on Apple Podcast? All right. Any good boxing gyms in Miami? I'm not a boxer, so I can't tell you. There's a place called Title Boxing. There's a place called Fight Club. I mean, it's boxing gyms everywhere. Anywhere that people box, there are boxing gyms. So, and I don't know what would make the gym good or bad because, again, I'm not a boxer, so I can't quantify that. I can't even tell you what makes a basketball gym good. I mean, it really just depends on who's in there. If you got whack boxers in the gym, there's a whack gym. If it's good boxers in the gym, there's a good gym. So it depends on who's there. Somebody said Kobe didn't have talent and he was a bench player. He wasn't the fastest, strongest, most athletic, didn't have hands like Michael Jordan, but he worked hard to make him a legend. It was said from Kobe himself. Kobe had a whole lot of talent, ARB14. Kobe Bryant skipped college and went to the NBA. All right, that's talent. All right, anybody who does that has talent. Kobe said, I explained this a long time ago. People who become very successful, when you ask them how did they become successful, nobody is ever going to tell you what I just said. There's only a handful of people, you probably count them on your hands, who become very successful. I mean like famous, successful. And you ask them how they get successful and they say, yo, I'm talented. Or, yo, I got lucky. Because that's really how a lot of people get successful. That's not all they did, but that's part of it. Barry Bonds, the baseball player, the guy who everybody was slandering him because he supposedly took PEDs. I don't think, did he ever actually get caught? I don't know if he did or not. But Barry Bonds, who was a Hall of Famer, whether he had took PEDs or not. Somebody once asked him, Barry, what makes you so good at baseball? He said, talent. I'm just one of the most talented motherfuckers out there. This is what it is. People don't want to admit that they're talented because you look like less of a superhero. Like you said, ARB14, if you heard Kobe say that, I didn't hear that, but let's say that you're telling the truth. Kobe said that because that makes him sound like some kind of hero. Like, damn, I wasn't talented, I had no skills, I had no advantages, but I just worked harder than everybody else. So that's why I'm better than everybody. That's bullshit. Kobe Bryant averaged like 35 points a game in high school. He skipped college and went to the NBA. Kobe Bryant is one of the most talented basketball players who ever walked this earth. That does not mean that Kobe did not work hard. Does not mean he wasn't dedicated. Does not mean he wasn't disciplined. Does not mean he didn't work on his game and shoot a million shots a day or whatever he wants to tell you he did. I'm not taking nothing away. I'm a fan of Kobe. But Kobe Bryant is very talented. So anytime a very successful person tries to tell you that they had no talent, especially in something like sports or music, that's bullshit. Anything in the entertainment industry, when somebody becomes successful, they have a whole lot of fucking talent. A lot of people just don't want to admit it because then they don't look like a genius. They don't look like they outworked everybody. Because if I just say I'm more successful than all y'all because I'm more talented than you, then you're like, oh, well, you just got lucky. But if I say I'm more successful than you because I worked harder than you, then you want to hear everything I did. How'd you work? How many shots you shoot? What time did you wake up in the morning? Then I'm like some fucking hero to you. It's bullshit. And then players like you, ARB14, you hear Kobe say that and you're like, okay, well, if Kobe had no talent, he became this successful, I could just do everything Kobe did and I'll be Kobe. No, you won't. You won't be Kobe. You don't have his talent. That's what it is. And people don't want to hear that shit, but that's why I'm here. Not to tell you the same shit everybody else says. Chirac Assassin says, no question, but I like these live streams. Keep them coming. I shall do that. Thank you. He said, also, Kobe was pretty athletic. He could squat a solid 400 plus. Well, I don't know that. I don't know if that's part of his athleticism. I think if you work out enough and you got the right instruction, you can, build up your ability to lift weights. But fine. Kobe was very talented. That's crazy. Then Yasa said, yeah, exactly. He said, Kobe didn't have talent. You true. Kobe had a whole lot of fucking talent. All right. Do not believe any story about no NBA player who says they don't have talent. Average man is 5'9". Kobe is what? 6'6". All right, that's talent right there. That's 9 inches. Pause. 9 inches that Kobe had over the average male. All right, that right there alone is talent. Exactly. Anyone can squat 400 if you work at it. All right, am I posting this on YouTube? Yes, this will be on YouTube. Dre, grown as fucking knowledgeable that I haven't seen you since 09. Big motivational speaker. Used to be turned up, breaking ankles, talking shit. Amazing to see your growth. Old Dre was absolutely. I fuck with that. Free Soul 76. I appreciate that. But I've been doing this for a long time. A lot of people who only knew me from the basketball shit didn't know that I've been doing this at the same time. But the basketball is a little bit more sensational, I guess. You got those 2 handbooks and the jump manual. All right, that's what's up. If you do the work, you'll get it. Andy 91282, that's what's up. All right. Rush 2 Doshi says, do you think it's the same with how smart someone can be talent-wise? Absolutely. Because some people just have some people are just naturally smart. I mean, I don't know if I would put myself in that group. But some people, in different areas of life, some people are just smart. They just have intelligence that other people don't have. And they have, what it is? Some people just have an aptitude to learn things a certain way that other people don't. For example, most of us probably went to school. And in school, formal schooling, you got some people who they say they're book smart, right? Because they can learn really well in the way that traditional schools teach. Like the teacher stands there and they stand at the blackboard and they talk all this shit for an hour and you're supposed to take notes and remember it. And then there's a test in 6 weeks and you got to remember everything they said. Some people are terrible at that, even though they're not stupid, but then we think they're stupid because they're failing all their tests. And there's some people who are just so talented at that they just learn that shit so easy, and they're this A+ student. My sister, for example, was like that. She's like an A+. She was an A+ student all through school. She skipped the 2nd grade. She went to an Ivy League college. Then she went to fucking Stanford after that. And now she's a professor at a college. It just makes sense. She was like perfect. She was like LeBron James, but for school. That's how my sister was. She has talent when it comes to learning. That doesn't mean she didn't work, but she was very talented. Me, I was average. I think I could have been like her, but I didn't want to be. I didn't want to do the work. So I did enough to get by so I could play basketball. That was me. But so to answer your question, Doshi, yes, absolutely. There are people who are talented that way. The problem is with school is that we all teach everybody one way, but everybody doesn't learn the same way. So that's how you get students who get this stigma on them that they think they're dumb because they're not learning the way that traditional school teaches, but they could be very smart. So that's one of the challenges of the academic system. Ploar said, do you get talent from working on skill? It depends on how you define talent. There are a lot of different definitions. What I'm using for this conversation, the context of this, when I say talent, I'm talking about a natural ability that you did not practice, but you just have it. It's just something that you're good at and you didn't even try. That's what I mean when I say talent. Now, once you combine talent with hard work, that's when you get Kobe Bryant. ARB says, well, I guess you got a point of the day. Just work towards being the best I can be. Exactly. You helped a lot. That's what's up. Work on being the best you can be. Exactly. And you determine what that is. You determine what's the best you can be. Nobody else. Chris said, I didn't realize I had talent until you broke it down. I have a lot of natural abilities. That's what's up. You got a 41-inch vertical and naturally a detailed freak, which I consider a talent. That is a talent. Yeah, absolutely. RB said, if you're amazing at something, how do you tell the difference between whether you are talented or skillful at it? Well, what does it matter? I mean, if you're good, you're good. If somebody's willing to pay for it or sign you, et cetera, then you got an opportunity. It doesn't matter whether you want to call it talent or skill. You can figure that out later. Just take advantage of the opportunity now and then worry about the semantics of talent, skill, whatever you want to call it. That's later. That's when you start doing what I'm doing. Then you got to break it down and explain it. But right now, while you're doing it, when I was playing ball, I didn't care if people said I was talented or skilled. Just know that when I get on that motherfucking court, y'all know what time it is. I don't care what you call it. So anyway, this is my book, The Mirror of Motivation. self-guide to self-discipline. Go to mirrormotivation.com. It is the link in my bio here on IG. You get this book. It's already paid for. All you got to do is swipe up. Tell me where to send it. Oh, wait, not swipe up, but go to the link in my bio, mirrormotivation.com. I'm about to eat. What we got? What is this? Shrimp and
andouille sausage and grits.
Shrimp and what sausage?
Sausage and grits.
Shrimp, sausage, and grits. So that's what I'm about to eat for dinner. Y'all have a great rest of your Thursday. We're going to do another one tomorrow. Work on your games. Dre all day.